Gotta do a session today. It's gonna be high intensity. I'm gonna carve up. I got Electro Ride, My Spring Energy, as well as a Canterbury. Stay hydrated, stay fueled. Let's get outside.
It was a beautiful day. Sun beat down.
Alright, so today we're outside at the top of the NCAR Hill, National Center for Atmospheric Research. I've done some videos from up here. It's January 13th, 2019, and you can kind of see the mountain view behind me. We're going to go on the road. It's a nice stretch of road. You've seen it in my Boston Marathon training videos. I've done downhill repeats from the top, 800 meters downhill. It's a nice gentle gradient for about 2K. Popular with cyclists, runners, because it's got some shoulder lanes. You don't have to worry about cars quite as much. And the important thing is the sun's been hitting it, so it's not all icy and covered in snow, because as you can see on the trails over here, I do like to do hill repeats on the trail. They get covered in snow and you're slipping around, which is fine if you're training for those types of races. But in this particular workout, we want very good footing, secure footing, not too steep of a grade. It's only about 6-7% average grade for this road stretch, and beautiful views of the mountains, Green Mountain and Bear Peak behind me there, Flatiron. So let's get out there and warm up. All right, so today's session is gonna be short hill repeats. Short hill repeats, 12 by 1 minute, pretty hard uphill, walkabout down recovery, followed by 6 times 30 seconds. Pretty high intensity for me. Not gonna be killer. You can make this workout basically as hard as you can. It could be super hard, but that's not the goal, because it's all about context of training. Talk about context of training. I've been getting the volume up. Got 3 weeks over 100 miles a week, about 160K per week. So I've knocked that out. Got some easy pace, mostly easy pace aerobic running, done some up-tempo stuff, done a few long runs over 32K or 20 miles. Did a little farther than that, 23 miles. Some light fartlek. We call it fartlek. I know it's not totally unstructured. It's more like timed intervals, but you know, some 1 minute surges on the flats, more unrunnable road stuff, 2 minute surges, sometimes embedded in a long run. More is tempo efforts, so threshold stuff, not crossing the threshold too much, nothing over 90% max heart rate. Now, the short hill repeats, definitely going for some heart rate spikes. Running hard, fast uphill, probably gonna spike some pretty high heart rate spikes, but it depends on the rest and recovery. The goal is not to develop a lot of lactic acid. We're not mid-distance runners. We're not looking to peak. So this is early season hill stuff. The more important thing is to focus on good running form and developing power in the stride. So, you know, go looking for that stride length, that knee drive, pushing off the toes. You activating the glutes is a big thing for me. My form's gotten a bit sloppy from doing the longer, slower ultras and the really steep stuff. So getting that glute activation, fast twitch muscle fiber activation, running hard uphill does that. Good arm swing, good arm drive, good knee lift, things like that. You don't want to be too tired when you do that. Now, if I was training for a mile or 1500 or something under 5K, I'd need some lactic acid buffering, and this would be a great workout where you could develop a lot of lactic acid, have it be really painful, sprint these really hard with a short, limited rest. But that's later in the season when you want to peak to do those killer workouts. For me, speed, the higher intensity stuff, harder sessions are mainly more VO2 max workouts, where it's better to do 3, 4, even 5 minute hill repeat reps. And I do those on the trail later in the season. That develops some lactic acid by default, but it's not quite as high intensity. This is more like an Arthur Lydiard hill phase type of thing, bounding drills, getting the legs muscularly very strong, but mainly just you're gonna get the cobwebs out of the lungs and the heart, so it'll be tough. We'll get down there for this 2K warm up here. Beautiful day, really lucky the footing's good here. So yeah, I'll be starting at the bottom of the hill. I think it's maybe 7 or 8% grade. Pretty high intensity, trying to focus on that good form. It's not gonna be easy. It's definitely a moderate workout and There's going to be some pain with the high intensity, but yeah, the goal is really on that good form, developing that power back in the stride. It kind of gotten sloppy. I think the fast running, stimulating fast twitch muscle fibers is neuromuscular training. You're trying to focus on that strong core, that knee drive, that leg drive, that arm drive, so that you become more economical or more efficient, even at slower speeds like half marathon, marathon, ultra marathon, race pace. And you could handle some of that lactate and those, gets the heart rate, the heart muscle flexible. You don't panic when you start breathing really hard, because I'll get breathing pretty hard on these. But yeah, not a total killer session. You can make this as hard as you want it to be. Early season though, we're periodizing the workouts. We're still building some aerobic, mostly building aerobic base. Probably try to push the mileage up to 115 miles this week, or I don't even know, what is that, like 180, 175 kilometers this week, and getting that volume up. Still doing the long runs, more lactate threshold tempo stuff. Get into more of that in a few weeks. Let's get started. So in essence, we're starting to sprinkle in the intensity, and it's mainly for that running form efficiency, and also to get the cobwebs out of the lungs and to spike the heart rate. Get ready for more intense, slightly longer intervals later on, including rolling hills, surges during long runs, and tempo repeats like 2K to 5K types of repeats, 2-mile repeats, things like that.
A close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time.
Bikes are supposed to use the full lane when they go downhill. And this is the pedestrian side, which is on the left side, which is kind of weird. But I'd rather run head on into traffic when I'm going up the hill doing my repeat. You always generally in the US want to face traffic on a 2-lane road, and usually on hill climbs though I could easily run in the shoulder on the right side of the road if I'm running faster than a bike climbing up the road. But this one's structured a little bit differently. I like to be able to see the car before it hits me rather than have it sneak up behind me and come off the curb here and hit me.
The radio on, I was driving, just flew by.
Alright, I'm actually gonna change locations up on the straightaway this hill, so I don't have to worry about traffic as much. And I could keep an eye on precious GoPro here in case someone tries to pick it up and I can't see around the corner.
We're singing, I was flying, yeah, I'm running down a dream that never would come to me, working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a tree.
You can't ride down in the full car lane, or riding down end car at 25 or 30 miles an hour. You probably shouldn't be riding your bike on end car. It's a pedestrian lane on this side. Guy's coming head on down at me.
We're singing,
right, so first hill repeat workout in the books for the year, actually in this training segment. Always a tough one, transition for the legs. I haven't been doing a ton of vertical in my training, so actually doing it even on this moderate grade road, at least compared to trails, definitely tough, especially that intensity. And it's good because it pushes the threshold up a little, but again, not developing too much lactate, lactic acid. That's for later on, more middle distance focus, but good transition, trying to run with good form, activate the glutes mainly. And yeah, busy day out here on in-car road, a lot of car traffic. It is a nice Sunday afternoon, a lot of pedestrian and cyclists. It's maybe a little dicey. People are generally pretty good in Boulder. It's one of the best cities in the US to train in terms of the car traffic and people yielding correctly. However, on in-car hill, I will say, unlike 90% of the roads in the US where you're always supposed to be running on the left-hand side of the road facing traffic, they have this distinct pedestrian lane on this side of the road that you're supposed to go up and down only. Again, I make exceptions depending on blind turns or weather conditions, and people speed with their cars going way too fast. You got people driving up this, like, I think the speed limit is 35 miles an hour. They go racing up and down this. You got people walking in the middle of the road. It's always kind of frustrating, but I can't wait till some of the snow melts and get back on the hard packed trails. We're also doing repeats or long runs in slick conditions because we race in mud and snow in mountain racing, but that'll be later in the summer for me. Still getting in some vertical in the focus there, and trying to keep the mileage high again, trying to run way over 110, 115 miles this next coming week and build that aerobic base for long distance races I got planned. But thanks so much for subscribing on here. Again, really appreciate the Patreon supporters. I'm going to get a new GoPro Hero 7. This I've been filming just with the Hero 5 without a stabilizer. GoPro 7 has the new stabilization technology. I'll probably also get a Karma grip, some more tripods, an external microphone audio adapter as well in case it's windy for these audio on these types of vlogs, but also hopefully have some other camera footage, multi-camera things like that, time lapse, to make the viewer experience better for you guys. Always open to criticism, constructive criticism and suggestions from you guys. Again, thank you so much for really making this possible. Hope your training's going well. Stay tuned for more informative training talks also. I'll keep uploading this channel, and nutrition talks, stuff you guys like to hear about. Thank you so much. Hope your running's going well. Be sure to subscribe for more videos. Check out the in-car repeat video I did before the Boston Marathon on this hill on in-car. Sandy helped film over there. Check out our coaching website, sagerunning.com, for any service, any distance training plans. Got new announcements coming out from there as well. Thank you guys. See you next time. Time to fly.